Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today I wanted to kind of play a little bit more of a relaxed vibe for you guys, and I just wanted to chat a little bit about the mindset and the approach that Kingdom Builders can take that can make these games more free to play friendly. And trust me when I say I will blow your mind out of the water, and you're most likely going to have some Jimmy Neutron brain blasts that will be ensuing shortly. So strap in, get ready. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell. If you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. And let me get some agua. One moment. Oh, that was glorious. Okay. So what makes a game free to play friendly? And I often get this question asked. I'll also get the question on, well, oh, hey, is COD less pay to win or more pay to win than Rock or than IK or than another Kingdom Builder? And though I personally think most of these games typically fall within a close-ish range when it comes to the amount you can spend, obviously there's a lot of similarities when you look at games like Rock, IK, and COD, right, when it comes to bundles, pricing for those that you'll see across the games, right? So there's a lot closer of a gap there than we might think. When it comes, the only difference between something like IK and COD and Rock is that the power levels are just less means more, essentially, right? It's basically just a downscaled version, even though prices are still similar. But what does make a game free to play friendly? And I'm going to answer this in the shortest way possible, and then we'll dive in a little bit to it. To me, what truly makes a game free to play friendly is the ability for a free to play player to grind and invest their time, effort, and energy into a game where they can keep up with, I would arguably say, light to maybe medium spenders if they are participating enough, right? So it's not saying that everyone is going to be able to. What we're saying is the opportunity is there. The option is there for those that can. And this is how you do it. You just need to make sure that there's enough things to do in the game that could keep someone, if they were just to continuously play for, let's say, 16 hours straight, could they be constantly doing something, participating in an event, doing a puzzle, doing a mini game, exploring? Could they do that for a year straight, right? Just in this example. That is what I would consider it. It doesn't mean it's the only way, right? There are multiple ways that you could incorporate free-to-play friendly factors, but that is the overarching idea that really sells a game on it being more free-to-play friendly. The other side of it, and this is again more broadly spoken, is how impactful and how engaged and how beneficial can a free-to-play player be when it comes to PvP. And I think COD really hits this hammer on the head with the fact that they have range play. Let me say true range play. Let me be specific here. Because they have this, it reduces the margin of error on a free-to-play player's troops, and it allows for them, right, if they can be tactically efficient, and even if not, still will allow for them to, at minimum, contribute to arguably the same-ish level that someone who's spending money can. And again, if not, more. Right? If you're, let's just as an example, say you're extremely good at kiting, you're able to predict movement, and you're able to keep your units alive as long as possible, meaning you're able to deal more damage outgoing, that makes you so much more valuable to an alliance because you have great heads-up awareness, and you're able to micromanage your troops in a very efficient way. And because of that, you're hopefully taking less damage and dealing more damage, right? That has extreme value in this type of a game. And it also means that free-to-play players can be, in my opinion, incredibly impactful on the PvP side. Yeah, sure, they still might not run rallies, but I can make an argument that a free-to-play player could be just as impactful, if not more impactful, than someone who spends in the open field. Then let's go back to the other side. So the other side of it is looking at how your game is free to play versus, and this is honestly, if you're a developer that's looking to build the next great kingdom builder, I will give you some genius level advice and just kind-hearted, courteous explanations. Is that the right thing I'm going with? I'll just say tips, right? That's really, in my opinion, right? So if we look at the landscape right now, and I don't want to dive too far into kind of like the big picture, right? I might make another video on it. But one thing I'll give you is that the current landscape for kingdom builders, it still has so much potential right now. Not only is CoD kind of the first true ranged quality kingdom builder that we've seen, but there's no kingdom builder right now on the market that would allow someone to play their game for 16 hours a day for a year straight, right? Or even just forever. Where there's enough things to do in the game that they can, and I'm not talking just events. There's other ways to be creative. I will give you an example. Again, I don't dive too much into my treasure trove, but I will give you one thing. One idea is, let's say you wanted to be able to gather resources faster. What if you could go into your resource building and you could either play mini games or you could walk around with some type of scythe and you could go and manually harvest resources which would garner you them at a faster rate. What if you could do the same thing on a resource tile, right? Where maybe you would be able to, like, for example, let's say if I wanted to go and gather from a level 5 tile. Level 5 tile in CoD is 756,000 resources. Let's say it takes me an hour and a half to gather that. Let's say they gave you the ability to cut that time down in half, but you would have to be literally spending those 45 minutes gathering resources, right? Or going in and basically with continuous play to play this out, right? Or they allowed for you to do things like shave the time down, right? By going in there, and you could just do it. Like if you did, like let's say if you did, like for every minute of time you spent doing something in this little mini game or something, right, on this gathering tile, it took a minute off, right? So if you spent it, like basically you spend a minute, you get 2 minutes, right, something like that. Or spend a minute, you get a minute, right? So you're basically reducing the time by 2 minutes, right? Because a minute of your time's invested and you're getting a minute off. Something like that, right? And I'm not saying it exactly has to be that, but it just shows you the outside of the box thinking and the creative approach that you can take to these types of games, where you can implement things that are not necessarily a brand new event that has to be this grandiose thing. You can still make strides by just having a less is more approach. And this is something I would love to see. It doesn't mean it has to be exactly this. It can be something different, right? Hopefully it just starts, making your brain think a little bit more and really starting to, and again, I'm sure we're having some Jimmy Neutron brain blasts that are happening right now. People are like, oh, genius level idea. I know it is because I'm a genius. But point is, where I'm really going with this is why you often hear me say we're at such an infantile stage of kingdom builders and where we can go with them and the potential that is still there, that ceiling that we have not even come close to on where we can go with these types of games. And that is why I say, if you're looking to really build something that is free-to-play friendly, that's where you have to start thinking about, is how can I create a game and how can I make my game more free-to-play friendly than another game where more players are going to be attracted to it. That is how you do it, right? It doesn't mean you have to get rid of spending or in-app purchases. You can still have those. But putting things in the game that require a time investment for resources, rewards, compensation that you can get from that is a free-to-play player's dream. I'll just say liquid dream, right, to keep it PG. That is the bread and butter. That is the thing that has yet to be maximized within the genre. And when I finally start to see games doing this, I will most likely check it out. Right? Now, trust me, I have a bunch of other ideas and things that kind of fall into that, like secret vault suggestion and approach category I have locked away in my little safe. So, every once in a while, I'll, let a few of these $1 million ideas out. But it is something that it makes you wonder at the very least, right? Wouldn't that be cool if they did things like that in Kingdom Builders, where you as a free-to-play player, or just anyone, just based on you investing your time, can get farther ahead, right? It's like that age-old saying on, like, what, not even age-old saying, right? It's like not the philosophy, but the perspective that some people have when they come to America, like to the U.S., right? I'm just super broadly stating this. Or like, let's say back in the day where it was, you being able to go and buy a plot of land and you did whatever you want with that land, right? You can make that land as profitable and as successful as you want. It's based on the time that you put in and the commitment you do. And to me, that type of mindset, that philosophy, would be great if something like that was implemented into COD and or just in Kingdom Builders, because that is something that I can guarantee you would make a game so much more free-to-play friendly. Okay, that is it for me. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is your mind spinning? Do you have other ideas? Throw them at me. I would love to read. Okay, until next time, as always, I will catch you later.